Bringing you tonight, the Reading Fightin' Phillies taking on the Altoona Curve, Game 3 of this 6-game homestand for the Fightins. Tonight, Throwback Thursday, they will be the Reading Keystones. Alongside my broadcast partner, Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool. Our pregame show is brought to you by Mike's Sandwich Shop, just up the road here in the Stadium District at Center Avenue and Burn Street. Pregame stop, postgame stop, whatever it is, Mike's Sandwich Shop will take care of your lunch and or dinner. And our guest, the man in the middle, Ethan Lindau, who got this series off to a great start for the Fightins with a win the Tuesday morning game, where the Reading Fightin' Phillies won it by a final score of 11-5. But Ethan obviously is the starting pitcher. Going back through that start, first inning, rough start, but when it was all said and done, it becomes a quality start for you, and you ended up getting 6 innings out of it. Tell us a little bit about the whole, how that all unfolded through that first inning. I know there was some frustration on your part, how things were evolving, but in the end, it was a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a rough start with the slickness of the ball, just trying to get a grip and get into a groove. First inning kind of came out maybe not as sharp, and as the game went on, got a little more into a groove, a little warmed up, and felt like I had my pitches working, and I was hitting my spots and getting soft contact and getting outs.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch because we could see the frustration on you that you were having some grip issues. Is that something that's uncommon, or is it something that you've fought with before?
It just depends with the dry weather when it's a little chillier outside. Depending on how the balls are rubbed up, stuff like that really takes into consideration. But it was just getting a little bit of body heat going, getting the sweat, get a grip on the ball, and after that, settled in pretty good.
Tuesday, unique situation, playing an 11 a.m. morning game. Do you think that had any bit of a factor of you warming up, or how does your schedule kind of adjust when you play that much earlier than a usual game day?
Yeah, so you're used to playing at the end of the night, having all day to prepare, get loose. So you're kind of waking up, getting right to the field, getting going right after breakfast, whatnot. So, just a normal day, just trying to get that energetic energy going early in the morning. But I thought it was okay. It was a nice day. So.
You are a very unique commodity in the game of baseball these days, because the game of baseball has changed to a power pitching game. Everybody seems is throwing 95 plus on the radar gun. That's not your specialty, but you have found a place and you have found a way to get batters out, and you do it by, in a lot of ways, just kind of keeping batters off stride throughout the game.
Yeah, that's my game. I'm going to hit my spots, put a little wrinkle in the ball, and just try and get soft contact. Obviously trying to work on getting the velo up. I think it's early in the season. It'll come as the weather gets warmer, as I get more into like that mid-season form. But right now I'm just going off my pitchability, not trying to focus too much on that, and do me. Yeah, I've always been just the crafty lefty. So
From our vantage point up top, it looks like you like to use that off-speed stuff to play with the batter's deception a little bit, try and make that fastball look a little bit faster. Do you have any sort of way you try to sequence your pitching, sequence that off-speed stuff to help that fastball be more effective?
Yeah, so my off-speed is a little, much slower than my fastball, so using that more kind of makes the fastball look a little harder when I throw it. But for the most part, just trying to mix pitches up and keep them off balance. And, if I have them worried about a few different pitches, a few different locations, it makes it a little harder for them.
You're watching the pregame show and listening to the pregame show. We are again live inside Tompkins Plaza, FirstEnergy Stadium, and it's presented to you by Mike's Sandwich Shop. And our guest is Ethan Lindau, starting pitcher for the Fightin' Phillies. Ethan, you mentioned the words crafty lefty. On the broadcast, I dated myself because I brought up a guy. When you think of a crafty lefty in the Phillies organization, you think of Jamie Moyer. It's a different guy, I think, in your background. It was a crafty lefty because you're from Georgia, and that's Tom Glavine. And I know you have a relationship with Tom Glavine, and I think that's probably where you pattern your game after.
Absolutely. Tom's a guy who I compare myself to a lot, and a guy that I watched growing up, and love watching him throw, compare myself a lot to him, and I got the luxury to get to work with him a little bit. I played with his son, and gave me a couple tips here and there. Kind of hard not to when you're. I was a lot like his son, another crafty lefty. So we worked a lot together, and gave me a couple tips on changeup, just little things even back then, like where to put my foot on the rubber, stuff like that, just to get that edge on the hitters, kind of where that ball's coming out. So just those little things helped as I got more advanced in the pitching. For sure.
You're a Braves fan, I'm a Phillies fan, so I saw Tom Glavine pitch way too many times. But that's what he was. He just was always around the plate, but at the same time, he was very good at getting hitters to chase his stuff. And if he got the pitches around the calls and around the plates, then it was to his benefit. And to that point on Tuesday, there were some times where you felt like you had some pitches and you weren't getting those calls. Obviously, that's an important piece to your game, and the success of your game is to be able to maintain and get the calls on the corners.
Yeah, for sure. When you're in the game, competing out there, you think you made a good pitch, and it might just be off, but emotions get the best of you sometimes, and you think that should have been a strike, and sometimes it can make a big difference in the game, but it is what it is. I mean, nobody's perfect. So.
But mentally, a day like Tuesday, when your offense comes out and it has a big inning like they did in the fourth inning, just you're sitting on the bench, what are you thinking knowing that, okay, our offense just put up a 6 spot in that frame, I get to go back out there with that kind of run support?
Yeah, it just gives me a little more comfort going out there knowing I don't have to be as perfect. Go right at the hitter, or right after the hitters, attack them, try and just throw as many strikes as I can, get quick innings, get the team back in the dugout hitting so we can keep doing it.
Each year, the Phillies organization gives out a Paul Owens Award to the best pitcher, the best hitter in the minor leagues. 2019, that was you. You won the Paul Owens Award. What did that award mean to you, and what was it like to get that award and be at Philadelphia to get it?
Yeah, it was awesome. A very surreal experience. Felt good to have that good year and be rewarded for it. Just really happy to see the Phillies taking care of guys that are working hard. So it was an awesome experience to have my family come and watch a game and, just being rewarded for something like that. I know it's a very special award in the Philly community, and being able to get that reward is pretty awesome to know that.
Throughout your time in the Phillies organization, who were some fellow pitchers, maybe some coaches that you've looked up to? Who has served as mentors to you throughout your time rising through the Phillies ranks?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, the trainers wouldn't be here without our athletic training staff, our strength conditioning staff, keeping us ready for every game, keeping us on the field. And, we've had multiple pitching coaches. Brad Bergeson here, I've had him a few years. He's an awesome pitching coach, real supportive, kind of anything you need, lots of knowledge. And had Matt Hockenberry in the past, really good in 19 when I won the Paul Owens Award. So a lot of help with him, working on, cutter, just, attacking hitters, kind of more of a mindset thing. So. A lot of great staff. Travis Hergert, he's our pitching coordinator, does a really good job with the guys, anything you need, or not being too one way with all the guys, so it's good.
Obviously, wins and losses aren't where this team wants it to be right now at 5-12, but what is the mood like in the locker room? What's the mindset of this team right now, even despite the bad start?
Yeah, we're doing fine. It's early, like I said. We're just getting started. We got a good team in the locker room, a lot of camaraderie with the guys, so I think just a matter of getting things going and getting into a groove, and I think it could be a fun year.
Now, speaking of guys in the locker room, there's 2 guys in the locker room this week that have a lot of big league playing experience, and Nick Nelson and Ranger Suarez. You had a chance to talk to either, pick their brains at all, and just what's it like having a guy with big league experience in your locker room?
Yeah, I got the luxury to be with Ranger, he's been in the organization a little while with as myself, and getting to talk to him, he's an awesome guy, really knows how to throw the baseball, obviously, and compare myself to him, another crafty lefty, he might throw a little harder, but good changeup, we pitch similar, but he's a fun guy to watch, throws a lot of strikes and gets outs, and he's awesome. And Nelson, watching him throw last night was good. Glad he's getting, he's healthy, getting back into it. It's just awesome watching those guys, a lot of experience, getting to pick his brains, just, pitch your game and, don't give the hitter too much credit, as they say.
Along those lines, what was it like for you, because now you become like us and we're a fan last year in the postseason, what was it like for you as a guy who knows some of these guys now in the organization to watch the Phillies in that postseason run a year ago?
It's awesome. I know they're having a lot of fun out there. You can see it. It's awesome to know that maybe one day it could be me out there, and just working hard to get there. And it's, you see it happen to guys and you kind of know it's real, it's a possibility. So just work hard and try and get up there with my friends.
And what are those goals that you kind of set for yourself as you look ahead the rest of 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, just trying to stay healthy, stay on the field, go out there every 5th, 6th day and give my team a chance to win. It's a long season, so that's really the most important thing, just keeping my, head straight and not getting too frustrated with the ups and downs throughout the season. Yeah.
So this is, you were here for a while last year, you had 19 starts a season ago, so this in reality is your second season at Reading. What is it about being here in this ballpark that has kind of struck your fancy?
You definitely have to keep the ball down. It's a ballpark tends to play a little small, so it challenges you to really make your pitches and keep the ball down. And besides that, I mean, it's a great atmosphere. I love having all the fans here. They really love the Reading Fightin' Phils and big Phillies community. So it's awesome to have the fans behind us every game and really cheering us on.
We're sitting here in front of all these murals of the new event center. You're getting a chance to be a guy who has to face it. We've called it the big brick monster here, just like the big green monster in Boston. But does that change a little bit from a pitching perspective? I know the hitters are drooling over that thing, but from a pitching perspective, does that change how you have to go about things?
No, I mean, the ballpark is plays pretty small either way. I mean, if anything, it's a better view of the ball going out, so get to watch that. But besides that, I think it's awesome. I mean, it really livens up the stadium, having that big wall. I mean, helps us sometimes keeping the ball inside the park, and sometimes it's fun watching it go over the wall. So.
Your teammate Tyler Phillips is put in a very unique situation tonight where he's going to piggyback off Ranger Suarez, come in around the third inning once Suarez's work is done. As someone who's pitched both as a starter and a reliever, how does your mindset change when you know, okay, today's my day, I'm getting the ball to start, or, okay, I know I'm going to get the ball, I just don't know when it's going to be?
Yeah. I definitely did in the past, the piggybacking what he's doing today. It's just pretty much, making sure you're getting ready on time. Usually you're used to starting on a certain time, finishing on a certain time. So just making sure he's ready when he needs to be. But I think, go out there and pitch your game just like you're starting it. Just make sure you're ready and go out there and attack. That's all it is.
Our pregame show is brought to you by Mike's Sandwich Shop. So I'm going to ask Ethan Lindau the toughest question he's ever faced. A Georgia guy, have you actually had what is a bona fide Philadelphia cheesesteak?
I have, actually. I got to up there a couple times, and it's as good as they say, that's for sure.
Well, I'll piggyback with one more from me. And I think I know what the answer is going to be, and I know our fans probably for this demographic are not going to like it. Is it a sub or a hoagie?
It's a hoagie.
There, good man. That's what we like to hear.
And they are available for you right down the street at Mike's Sandwich Shop. Ethan Lindau, thank you very much. The best of luck to you the rest of the season. We appreciate you taking some time out. We're going to take a time out. When we get back, it'll be time for First Pitch on the Reading Fightin' Phils radio network. Good evening, everyone, and welcome FirstEnergy Stadium, Game 3 of 6 between the Reading Fightin' Phils and the Altoona Curve. The Curve come in at 8-8. The Reading Fightin' Phils at 5-12. Alongside my broadcast partner, Jake Starr. My name is Bob McCool. Reading Phils and the Curve going after one another tonight. It is a throwback Thursday, and therefore the Fightins wearing their Keystone uniforms, the all-white uniforms with the blue trim. And we will jump into our starting lineups, presented to you by Golden Oaks Landscaping. For the Curve, leading off is the shortstop, Leover Piguero, batting in the 2-spot, top prospect in the Pirates organization, Henry Davis. He is their catcher. Domingo Leyba bats third and plays at third. Matt Gorski's in a cleanup spot. He's in center field. Mason Martin at the DH tonight. He's batting fifth. Batting sixth, Jacob Gonzalez at first base. Batting seventh, Lolo Sanchez is in left field. Batting eighth, Connor Scott, in right field. And batting in the 9th spot is second baseman Andres Alvarez. And now that I've effectively buried the lead, Jake Scott will bring it to the forefront because the man on the mound for the Fightin' Phils is left-hander Ranger Suarez.
It's poetic that on Throwback Thursday, we throw back to 2018. The 2018 R-Phil Ranger Suarez, 6'1", 217, making his first rehab appearance. You can hear the crowd cheering for Ranger after he just got introduced. First rehab appearance of the season. Went to the World Baseball Classic with Team Venezuela. Reported forearm temperature. Came back early. Thought there was a chance he'd be ready for opening day, but just couldn't get the forearm ready. So he's done a lot of live BP. He's pitched to Harper a bunch. And today, we get a chance to see him here in Baseball Town. About 2 innings, 35 to 40 pitches. The expectation tonight for Ranger Suarez.
And we are underway. The first pitch from Suarez is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that's there for a called strike to Leover Peguera. Bats at 231 and had a couple hits and was on base by walk a couple times. There's a slow roller. Suarez has to come off the mound and make the throw and test it immediately. Ranger Suarez passes the test with flying colors.
See, a lot of people think it's just the pitching. No, It's the fielding. It's everything. Suarez last year for the Phillies, 10-7. 3.65 ERA, 29 games, all starts, 155 in the third innings pitched, 58 walks, 129 strikeouts, a 133 whip, and opponents hit 249 against the lefty.
And that will bring up Henry Davis. Davis at 265 on the season, ton of power, and we saw it on example last night. 5 home runs on the season, 12 RBIs, jacked one over the Enersys Power Alley Pub last night, up on the bank behind the scoreboard. We sat and figured it out today that we figured that was our best guesstimate, about 415 feet from home plate. It was every bit of that for a 2-run bomb.
And it was really exact math that Bob used. Broke it down to the science, pulled out the old, maybe 20, 30-year-old printout of the stadium that had every part labeled, and we're like, yeah, 410's about right there, so we'll say, yeah, 410 to 420.
Right now it's no balls and 2 strikes to Davis, and he takes one low for a ball. It's 1-2. We'll call it the me tail of the tape because we don't have the exact science, but we figured it out. And this pitch on the outside corner, Suarez tries to get Davis to chase. He does not on a 93-mile-an-hour pitch on the outside corner. They're just off the outside corner. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Davis. Certainly Pirate fans will be interested to see how Davis fares against Suarez. And he'll take one for a called strike 3 as he buckles him with a breaking ball that Davis wasn't expecting. Out number 2 here in the first.
Suarez also pitched in Reading in 2018, went 4-3 over 12 starts, a 2.76 ERA over 75 innings pitched, was then quickly promoted to Lehigh Valley and made his big league debut with the Phils in 2018, but pitched mostly in 2019, 37 games out of the bullpen.
That will bring Domingo Leyba to the plate. He takes one up high for a ball. EPAW Weather Consulting brings us our game time weather. They're a source for public and private forecasts. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and in northern eastern Maryland. 64 degrees with a bit of a breeze blowing at times from 7 to 10 miles an hour. You look out and the American flag on the top of left center field scoreboard is pretty still. But then you look at some of the smaller flags, look like they're blowing out to left field. As Leyba takes one for a strike and then takes one for a ball. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike now to Domingo Leyba, who is the top hitter in the Curve lineup at 367 on the season. Couple home runs and 10 RBIs. 2-1 pitch is slapped towards right field. Going to be a long run for Cody Roberts. He'll field it on a hop, and that'll be a base hit for Leyba going the other way. And they've got their first base runner, first hit of the ball game. The defense behind Ranger Suarez has Ethan Wilson in left, Johan Rojas as custom in center. As I mentioned, Cody Roberts gets the start tonight, normally from behind the plate, but gets the start in right field. Carlos De La Cruz at first, Oliver Dunn at second. Madison Stokes gets the start at shortstop tonight. McCarthy Tatum at third, and Max McDowell back behind the plate with Suarez, who now faces Matt Gorski. And the first pitch, big swing by Gorski, and he comes up empty on the 93-mile-an-hour slider.
I think Suarez might have done his best work in October last year. Pitch out of the bullpen and a starter for the Phillies. Games against Seattle and Houston in the World Series, both game 3s, I think were some of his best starts as a pro.
This one tapped towards Madison Stokes. He'll field it on a big hop. He'll make the long throw to first in time. And a pretty harmless 13-pitch inning for Ranger Suarez as he gets the curve on 3 outs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. The Reading Fightin' Phils to the plate when we come back on the Reading Phillies Radio Network. Bring you tonight,
for
the Reading Fightin' Phils taking on the Altoona Curve, Game 3 of this 6-game homestand for the Fightins.
FirstEnergy Stadium.
Throwback Thursday, they will be the Reading Keystones.
24 hours a day,
Alongside my broadcast partner Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool. Our pregame show is brought to you by Mike's Sandwich Shop, just up the road here in the Stadium District at Center
Looking
Avenue
for something new?
and
Check out our
Bourbon Street.
latest
Pregame
selections of
stop, post-game stop, whatever it is, Mike's Sandwich Shop
hot
will take care of your lunch and or
throwback,
dinner.
black,
Our guest, the
our
man in the
trained,
middle,
our
Ethan
Phil's
Lindau,
attire.
who got
Root
this
for your
series off to a
Fightins
great
in
start
style.
for the
Stop
Fightins.
by
Will
the
win
Brentwood
the Tuesday
Industries
morning
Fightins
game
team store
where the Reading
or
Fightin' Phils won it by a final score of
rphils.com/shop.
11-5. But Ethan obviously is the starting
ROG
pitcher.
Orthodontics is the
Going
proud
back
official
through
partner
that
of the
start,
ROG Orthodontics
first
Fightin' Phils
inning,
Kids Club.
rough start,
Join today
but when
at
it was all said and
Fightins.com to
done,
get
it
your
becomes
free
a quality
ROG
start.
Orthodontics Kids Club t-shirt and visit FantasticSmiles.com for more information on why ROG Orthodontics is voted #1 in Berks and Monco. ROG Orthodontics and the Fightin' Phils, 2 great hometown partners.
Fans, nothing beats a great day at Golden Oaks Golf Club. Located just minutes from Reading, Golden Oaks is a beautiful, award-winning golf course open to the public with perfect greens, lush fairways, and a course playing for 5 sets of tees. Bogey's Pub is open to the public with the area's best full-course menu, featuring indoor and outdoor seating and TVs to watch your favorite sports teams. Let the Golden Oaks Golf Club team cater to your need. Lunch, dinner, golf outings, parties, company events, and fundraisers. Visit our website at GoldenOaksGolfClub.com and follow Golden Oaks Golf Club and Bogey's Pub on Facebook. Golden Oaks Golf.
On a throwback Thursday night, this is the way the Reading Keystones will go. Our Golden Oaks landscaping starting lineup will have Johan Rojas in his customary leadoff spot. Tonight he takes the first pitch for a called strike. Oliver Dunn back into 2-hole. He's at second base. Carlos De La Cruz batting third, and at first base, Wendell Rijo gets the spot at cleanup tonight. He's at the designated hitter. Ethan Wilson back at the 5-hole. He's in left field tonight. Madison Stokes at shortstop is batting 6th. McCarthy Tatum back in the Phil's lineup tonight. He's at third base and batting 7th. Max McDowell 8th in catching, and Cody Roberts, as we mentioned, in right field tonight, and he's batting 9th. Johan Rojas cannot catch up to a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from right-hander Sean Sullivan, and he is out number 1 on the strikeout.
Sullivan making his 3rd start of the season. Has not given up an earned run over 6 2/3 innings pitched. 4 hits allowed, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Last went 4 1/3 of 2-hit ball against Bowie back on the 21st.
Now faces Oliver Dunn, who had been the hottest hitter in the Fightins lineup, but struggling a little bit of late. 1 for his last 12, batting average now under the 300 mark at 291. Leads them in doubles with 6, and tied for team high in RBIs with 8. And he quickly is ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes from Sean Sullivan. 2021 8th-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates out of the University of California. 2-0 pitch, slapped to the right side, and Oliver Dunn back doing what he had been doing for the last several weeks, and it's getting on base with the Phil's first hit of the night.
Yeah, thought yesterday was just give Oliver Dunn a day off. Had been playing a lot, played well. But a chance for him to get a much-needed blow, and comes out early and rips a single.
Of course, hits were not a problem for the Phil's last night. They had 11 of them, but they also left 13 on base. That had been a major problem for Reading over the course of this season. Carlos De La Cruz now will step in. Carlos struggled a little bit at the plate of late as well. He's 2 of his last 17 as he steps in. The first pitch from Sullivan is a bit outside, ball 1. Carlos now at 254 on the season. 3 doubles, 3 home runs, which leads Reading on the year, and 6 RBIs. Dunn takes his lead off of first. Sullivan from the stretch on a 1-0 pitch. Taking again, and it's 2-0. Al Padrique coaching at third, and Ray Ricker coaching at first base. Dunn a little bit, maybe a half step bigger lead now. 2-0 pitch, outside ball 3. Well, Carlos will take a look at Al Padrique. We've talked about this. We have yet to see anybody get a green light and go on 3-0. That change with Carlos De La Cruz out of the 3 spot. He's 3-0 right now. Outfield playing him straight away and deep, and takes all the way, ball 4. So Carlos De La Cruz draws the walk. 2 on now and 1 out for the Fightins, and that'll bring up Wendell Rijo. Wendell batted into 2-hole last night, came up with a big double early on in the game. Was on base 3 times last night with a single, a double, and a walk. First pitch to him is over for a called strike. Lolo Sanchez is in left for the curve. Matt Gorski in center, Connor Scott in right. Jacob Gonzalez at first, Andres Alvarez at second, Leover Peguero at short. Domingo Leyba is the third, as at third. Henry Davis, as we talked about, is behind the plate. As Sullivan comes with a pitch, and Rijo fouls this one towards the Phil's dugout. Davis will give it chase. It'll run out of room, and a nice one-handed leaning catch by a fan behind the Phil's dugout. He gets a round of applause. Looking for somebody to give it to and can't find a volunteer. So it's no balls and 2 strikes now to Wendell Rijo. Phil's got the jump last night thanks to an Ethan Wilson 3-run home run in the first inning. Looking to do the same here with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the first. Pitch over for a called strike 3, and Wendell Rijo knew it. He headed back to the dugout for the second out in the inning, and that'll bring up Ethan Wilson. Wilson 4 out of 8 in the series. He scored 3, he's driven in 5, and he's driven in 5 by the courtesy of a couple of 2-run home runs. And he checks his swing on the first pitch. They'll appeal and say he did not go around. So it's ball 1 to Ethan Wilson. Wilson drove both of those home runs off the